Testing. Wait a minute. Why is this not? Testing. What the hell? Oh, it's dead. Bam bam. What's up, guys? This time we get a nice stable connection. Not like having our wonderful cell towers being overloaded. So right now what we're gonna do is going to upgrade our Threadripper build here. Unfortunately, its GPU is more than likely, I believe, it's going. It shut off actually on me a little bit earlier today when we were doing a Photoshop project here. So it's a good indication that that's also going bad, plus a combination of power supply possibly. So we're going to go ahead and do some replacing. It's sitting actually right here. The TF501 case, good old case. Nice. It's hard to believe that this PC is still running on Threadripper on a 3970, which is technically a Zen 2 processor that's still on here. So we're going to take this apart and start working on it, and I'm going to actually repaste this the CPU as well. What's up, Xenomorphing? Welcome in. So I'm going to actually repaste this because that's the last time I've done it was probably about a good 5 years ago. So it's definitely due. Supposedly, what's up, Vemi? Yemi, what's up? Perfectly fine quality on the phone, perfect, because we're on Wi-Fi. We don't have any terrible cell phone towers that we're connected to, because then it would be a lot worse. I would prefer for the connection to be on the camera instead. But as long as if you guys can see okay. I'm also filming this at the same time, so don't mind me taking some cuts in. There you go. That's a little bit of the studio that you're probably already familiar with as it is. But we're going to take off this glass here, and then we'll get started. And I got to tell you, one thing I can say for certain, Takuma wasn't lying. That ASUS RTX 5080 is quite huge. Yes, no Micro Center Wi-Fi. So hello, what's up, Swirly? What's going on? I'm stuck on a RTX 2060, but good luck on the upgrade. I hear you. Hopefully it works out great. The worst case, my fear is the worst case scenario, which is going to have to be forcefully upgrading the motherboard and the processor. But as you know, Threadripper builds are not cheap, especially today with the RAM prices. If you guys were on the live earlier, yes, I already did the unboxing. That's already all done and over with. So there will be videos on the unboxing of the RTX 5080. Going to be getting the Samsung Galaxy Book 5 Pro 360 at some time in the future. Awesome. And hopefully you guys are excited for it, because this is going to be ASUS's Noctua. It's going to be ASUS's Noctua RTX 5080 with the Be Quiet. This is it, actually, outside of the case. It's a bit interesting because it's actually vertical connections compared to the horizontal connections that you usually see when it comes to the PSUs. As the 12-volt high power port, has some drives, and it looks like, yeah, it's definitely set for the future from what it seems like. It was a great deal. If anybody is on Amazon, you want to see the great deals of Amazon, make sure to check out my page. I actually posted up a video on it. So I want to see the Noctua 5080. Oh yeah. Yeah, wait till you see it. I'm going to show it really soon. Not building a PC, but actually doing quite an upgrade. We're going to replace the GPU, and we're also going to replace the power supply in this PC right now. I'm also going to, what's up, LSG? Welcome back. This time, no Micro Center Wi-Fi, thankfully. So Another thing is we're also going to redo the thermal paste. That's probably the first step we're going to do, because it's going to be more than likely dried. So you got to make sure to have some isopropyl alcohol with you in order to wipe some of the old stuff. And I'm actually going to pull it out. Yes, absolutely. It is. It is, Takuma. It is massive. I can't wait to show it. I'm going to show it within 10 minutes. Just hang in there. And if you're unfamiliar with who I am, I'm Chris Mizo. I talk about PC and tech, and right now we're going to do an upgrade on this Threadripper build. This is actually on the TF501 case, if you're familiar with it. I honestly was tempted to upgrade the case, but I was thinking it might not really be worth upgrading the case, because eventually I'm going to end up upgrading to a different motherboard and Threadripper when it comes down time to it. Look up the picture. Yes. Yeah. I can't wait to show you guys. 9 more minutes. I'll put it right next to the PC so you get a good indication of it. So right now I'm just letting everybody come into the live. Welcome on YouTube and Twitch. I'm Chris Mizo. Talk about PC hardware and tech. We're almost at 10,000 already. We actually only need 9 more subscribers and we're there. What's up, Egyptian? Glad you came in. Yeah, today I've been streaming like crazy today, I gotta say, for the most part. Hopefully you guys are certainly enjoying it, and I feel that it's going to be quite worth it. This is actually the same, this PC right here is the very PC I use to stream and produce content on. So this is the bread maker here. So it's gotta get fixed today. I don't really have a choice. The fact that you almost went for it, yeah, almost did. And the reason being was because, again, I can't lie, it's the price. You can't beat that price. It was $1,000, but they tried to charge $1,300 for it. What did you get on your report card? Gotta know. I know you've been working hard too. So when we take off this glass panel here, we'll start with, again, we're going to wipe off the old thermal paste, put the new stuff on. Actually, gotta pull out the thermal paste out the drawer. Usually I use RTX silver. That's my preference. So let me pull that out. That's actually going to be, I'm going to flip this onto the other side because I got to walk around and access my tool drawer here, which is, apologize about the light. Yeah, if it's too bright over there. But let me see. All my thermal paste is right here. This is what we're looking for. This is my preference here, is going to be the stuff here. The RTX Silver 5 is definitely the better stuff. So I had 10 streams. Yeah, I know I know. Tell me about it. It's like 10 streams in 10 minutes. And that's what it felt like. I never had that bad of an experience streaming at Micro Center until today, I gotta say. That was brutal. That was absolutely brutal there. Yeah, that was absolutely brutal there. Micro Center, especially when it's a packed house. I can't imagine how it's going to be this upcoming, not this, of course, not today, but next Saturday. It's going to be pretty crazy. And if anybody doesn't know, currently the Black Friday deals are already out. So go ahead, go get them. You're not going to see that much of a difference, especially if you wait until Black Friday of next week. Except you're going to deal with more people. That's the only difference, and more things will be sold out. As I told everybody out there, I gotta say, if you need a GPU, definitely get it. $1,600 is pretty high for a RTX 5080 in my personal opinion, but I can't complain because more than likely we could see double or even triple the price next year, and then you're gonna really kick yourself for not having it. So what a tiny streamer PC. I'm glad that they opened. Yes, absolutely, Yemi. I'm glad that you got one right there. When I checked my YouTube, I saw, yeah, I know. And that was the problem. That was all thanks to the signal that we had in Micro Center. Actually, we did a members live not too long ago, probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We went there to Micro Center, and we actually were able to pick up some decent parts, and we had no issues with the live then. Yes, get the Da 5080 before the price raise. So close. I know. So to let you guys know on YouTube, we're only about 9 subscribers away. So we're very close to hitting 10K. which we will do a big streaming day when that does happen. We will certainly plan something out. It'll be a lot of fun. We definitely did a lot today as it is. It's, again, really exciting. Also, if you're unfamiliar with who I am Chris Mizo. Thank you for joining in. What I'm doing is working on this PC, which I will show you the GPU in just a bit. The GPU, I want to size it up next to this PC so you get a good idea of what it looks like. So you guys ready for it? You guys ready for the GPU? Currently, this is the PSU we're also going to upgrade. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to swap out all the cables. Originally, I wanted to get a Corsair one, thinking of just being lazy. Just swap out the PSU and that's it, because it is modular. All you got to do is swap it out and that's it. But more than likely, that's not going to be sufficient enough. What's up, guys? What's up, Raxfur? What's up, Frozen? Welcome back. Thank you for joining in. Awesome. That's awesome, Egyptian. You deserve it. You are hard working when you come to your... Seems you are doing great in your live. That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Rax. I do appreciate it. So, before we continue here, I'm going to show you what the Asus Noctua RTX 5080 looks like. And you might be shocked about how big it is. In fact, I was such in shock. I was like, hold up, let me see this GPU. And I was thinking, will this even fit in my case? And worst case scenario, would I have to remove my fans? Because I actually got an intake and an exhaust. You'll see it once I take this PC glass case off. I hope the PSU has all the support for Threadripper with the GPU. I think it will. I'm pretty sure it will. Raxford AK Raw, known as yes. I got a 3-day school trip in. You're tougher than the game. Yes, yes. All right, let me pull this Asus Noctua RTX 5080. You guys might be shocked here on how big it is. There it is. This thing is massive. I'm even actually afraid to hold it with one hand because of how massive it is. That's it. Look at that size right there. Isn't that huge? That's the Noctua Asus RTX 5080 there. Isn't that insane? But this is what it looks like. It looks just like a 5090. It's insane how big it is. You would think this is a 5090. But yeah, this is it. And we're going to throw that in. Take a look at the heat pipes here, matter of fact. As like the 6mm heat pipes right here. That's insane, right? It is a monster. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's still expensive. Honestly, if I could, like, I see. You know what? At times I wish I would have got that 5090, that Founders Edition, when I had the chance. I would have spent a little bit more, but at least I would have had 32 gigabytes. But it is massive. Oh, awesome, Clark. This is perfect because we're going to install it in today. We're going to see how it goes. And we're going to take... So, obviously, that is massive. And that's going to take up quite a bit of space. So, we can't really put that onto the desk with us here. So, we're going to go ahead and take this off. And you're going to see what this PC is like. Take off this thermal glass here. There we go. Got to put that glass in a safe place there. But how it looks in there, hopefully you guys can see it nice and clear. I know it's a bit dark. This is actually the deep cool cooler that's in here. So I'm going to take that off, and then we're going to put some thermal paste. Fortunately, we can't take it off vertically the way it is. Otherwise, it's the thermal paste, it can be quite messy. I usually just toss it on the bed. I got you. I got the new iPhone Pro Max. It's super nice, but kind of pricey anyways. I had the money for it. Yeah, that's what I'm streaming off of right now, believe it or not, is the iPhone Pro Max. So does it fit in the Evolve X2 case? I mean, this barely fits. It's like right here. I think I got to check the full specs on it, but let's go ahead and take these off because we're not going to need this anymore. And the good old ASUS ROG Strix 3080 Ti. It's been through some quite times. Yeah, not everybody's a big fan. I still love this. It's crazy because I thought the 3080 Ti was massive originally when it first came out. This is the ASUS TUF 501. It's a great case. I love the carrying straps. That's my biggest part that I certainly do love of it. But we're going to have to take this off and wipe the thermal paste off of here. So I'm going to have to lay it on its side here and try to get the angle right for you guys so you can see it. Let's see. Put it like that. You know what? I know exactly how to do it. Gonna have to switch it over just like, let me see. Just like this. Gonna have to use the rear camera here. So going to set it just like that so you guys can see what I'm doing. I know it's probably crazy close, but that's probably the best way I can set it on the phone. So we're gonna take off this cooler. And now I also got to set up my camera, so just hang on, guys. And we're about to get to work here. Flip this camera around. And I'll just voice it over after. For this PC build, for this NVMe, I'm currently using the Samsung 980 Pro. I also have the, what is the other one? Now it's slipping my mind. Next storage is 4GB drive as well. The PCI Express 4 drive. Okay. So we just gotta bring that up some. And let me just get this right here, guys. This is fun, streaming and filming at the same time. There you go. You can see the camera kicking in. There we go. Beautiful. Let me see. You know what? I'll show you what it looks like before I start getting to work here. Let's go to the front side so I can get the camera mode in action here. So using the 9100, it sounds like, well, this is actually an older motherboard, so it's not going to really have any use for any of the newer drives until we get a newer Threadripper. So right now we're just going to remove these screws right here. And now we're gonna input some new thermal paste, just remove some of the old stuff. And what we're going to use is this stuff, the isopropyl alcohol. And what I usually recommend are some Polfy filters here. Yes, it's DDR4. So you know this is an older PC right here. Because this is based on the 3970X, which is still a Zen 2 processor, but still quite the beast when it gets to work, I'll tell you that. Whew. Talk about multitasking. So, as Rob Snyder says, in the Adam Sandler movies, you can do it. Absolutely. We're gonna flip this camera around. Let's see. The life of filming. Now you can see all the footwork it takes to actually get everything just right. There we go. That would be a nice angle. And then I'll take off the screws with you guys, so you guys can check it out. There we go. You know what's funny about this motherboard too, is the fact that if you take a look right here, let's see. If you take a look right here, guys, give me a second to flip this around here. And you notice it still has that. This you don't really see as often anymore. Remember when this was a big thing, having your SSD set, have it set vertically? But this you don't really see as often anymore. My desktop was only $325. I traded up for a 5900X for, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I hear you. That's a smart move. Smart move. We're gonna go ahead and take this off. See if I could get this camera in there too. Nope. Too much. It's funny too, because I got these like rubber notches here just to prevent any type of fan noise. Works pretty decent, but again, it's okay. Not the best stuff in my opinion. Yeah, I bet you remember that. Let's see. We get a good angle on this, guys. There you go. Oh. And let's begin taking it off. There we go. That's right. I can lift this up. Sorry about that, guys. Just messing with the camera. Just trying to get everything nice and aligned for it. There we go. Set it up on manual. Probably not the... Probably right there would be good. Perfect. So my desktop crushes FNF, Minecraft visuals, never seen a vertical. Yeah, that was the thing back then. So we'll go ahead and start removing this. Take off these screws here. I'm kind of curious to see how it looks in here, because it's been a while. So I'm just taking off. These caps here. Currently runs Borderlands 4 with framed in 4K. The laptop will not hold the There we go. That's off. Right here, let's take that. I can see that thread ripper just kind of peeking over there. I am curious to see how this will look. This is, again, after 5 years of usage. Taking this one off. Not really. I need the 47 TOPS of neural processing though. So we got somebody that's interested in doing AI type of work here. Be really careful. Got to be grateful for these magnetic tips. don't need everything going out to everywhere. So let's see how it looks. Woo. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad. See a little bit of spillage. You can see that over time it's been quite melted. Yes, this is the Deep Cool Castle case here. And, oh, hang on guys. Hard to pull this wire up. Just got to be really careful because of how tight the tolerances are. So let's look at the back of it. Yeah, it's much better than I thought though. I think it's a little bit much paste though on it. A little bit much. So I'll get this on camera real quick, guys. So, but yeah, that really doesn't look too bad. Then we find out 5 years of yeah, exactly. It could be. That's why you always check. Always check. So we're gonna show that up on camera here. And let me see. That's how the thermal paste is looking after 5 years of usage. Not really completely that horrendous, but good to clean it off, put some nice fresh thermal paste down. It should be pretty much good to go. Just a little bit messy after years of usage, but overall it's not terrible. There we go. We got that part done and in. All right, so what I start using to... All right, so we're gonna wipe this off. Usually what I like to use is something like these coffee filters, because you can just throw them out. They're not nearly as expensive as microfiber rags, because they can really add up in price here. So I'm just hand wiping this. Just hand wiping this with the filter. Then just make sure to have plenty of them. And then I'll get alcohol to wipe off the rest of it. And yeah, behind the scenes, yes sir. The tank, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna wipe this off. Man, you can see how the, let me just lift this up so you guys can see it looks like that so far. And then soon we're gonna wipe the actual processor off. The most annoying part is trying to get the over access out. But honestly, that stuff up there doesn't matter as much because it's on the cooler itself. Oh man, that, you know what? I would have to open up a page for donations if that was the case. There we go. And now we got some more light shine onto it. I'm simply just getting the Samsung Galaxy phone. Okay. And let me just get this angled here. And just locking my camera now. Let me try to lift this up there. Actually, you know what? I'll just do this. I'll take the camera off first, just to show it. So now we're just going to wipe the access off the processor here. And then we're going to install some fresh paste. Just make sure to use these coffee filters and then a microfiber cloth afterwards. Yeah, the $5 rags. They're no joke. Wasn't that crazy how expensive they really could be, those rags? Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start wiping this off. Let me just change this angle here, guys. All right, there we go. Whew, a little bit tough. All right, so now grab this coffee filter here. We're gonna just kind of soak up whatever we can. See how dried up it is. You can see the thread ripper starting to pop out a little bit. Some of it's a little bit dried out. All right. Now time to put some of the alcohol on this. Going to have to get more. Be right back, guys. Yes. Look at this thing. It is a beast. After this, we'll use a nice microfiber to wipe it off. Ooh, man, look at that access. Telling you, coffee filters are amazing stuff. Wipe some more of this off here. Almost to the point where we can use a rag now. Almost. Let's keep wiping this.
Man, it kind of makes me wonder about how the new Threadrippers are like too. Definitely would want a contact plate. Yes, that's a great idea. Let's come out with a thermal paste latte. Perfect for this holiday season. There we go. Look at that. It's coming to life. Okay. Just a little time, a little patience. Just let me get a little bit more of this access here in the corner. The worst thing is like getting some thermal paste on your fingers. Then it just gets everywhere. Seems like every time I touch this build, that's what happens, just because of how big the processor is. Okay, so now we're gonna use a microfiber rag. Use the nice microfiber rag. Let's see, there we go. There we go. Beautiful. Look how shiny that is. Nice and polished. Try to get some of these pockets here. Still paying attention to the chat, guys. Just a little multitasking, focusing at the same time, trying to. All right, flip to the other side here. You know what was tempting? To honestly get like another cooler, just in case, because I'm paranoid like that. But seeing the temperatures was really not that bad. Yes, it is a server type of CPU. There we go. Beautiful. Looks nice and clean now, right? And now we gotta clean the underneath of this thing, which is gonna be nothing compared to cleaning that full-on processor. Let me see. I'll try to put it up here, guys, so that way you guys can see it. There you go. Maybe that would have been better. That would have been a lot better for you guys to see, right? So we're gonna clean this off. Let me fold this over here. Get all these corners, try to at least. That's the only problem when it comes to Threadrippers. They don't really have specific like AIOs where they truly cover the full CPU. But this is, I remember Decool was one of the closest ones that could. But again, you'll have a little bit of spillage on the corners, but it doesn't matter because the corners are just like practically plastic. And it's not like your contact pins for your processor here. But you want to try to have less spillage if possible. What's more important is you want to keep the cold plate clean. Let me get some more alcohol here. This Threadripper has 32 cores, 64 threads. This is the Zen 2. Oh, really? Yeah, it might be a little too dark.
to see the model numbers. Let's see. But I can tell you it's the 3970X. Definitely the beast of its time. Originally, I spent like $2,000 on this processor from Micro Center, actually. All right. Ooh, I think that's as clean as we're gonna really get it. Of course, we can definitely clean this part. We're gonna clean this. We'll clean it just a bit more here. It just sucks the way the grooves are, because then it's hard to get into those pockets at times. Technically, you could use like a, and you gotta be really careful. You don't want to use a brush on something like this because it's soft. And you don't want to end up scratching it. Oh, I think it could handle 7-zip pretty easily. All right, let me see if I can get this camera in a better angle here, guys. Let me see, maybe if I... and get it just like that. Move this over. Gonna have to manually focus this in on the camera here. There we go. Beautiful. And let me just set this up here. Okay. So now everything is cleaned off here. We're just about to install the thermal paste here. Back then you could find a variation motherboards. Now it's all exactly. They're all expensive. They're all in the $1,000 range now if you get any Threadripper boards now. I was looking at it, shopping for it. I saw kits for it originally. And yeah, fortunately they're still pretty expensive right now, especially the RAM kits. Right now I'm just trying to clear out my thermal paste here. It's a little bit sticky. Huh. All right, we'll try this out and hopefully works good. Just a little bit. Just got to clean the ends out and then we're gonna throw it in. Just got to put some alcohol at the end of this thermal paste because it's crusted up from the last install. It's funny too because it's like I'm getting like thermal paste all over my fingers because of it. Because I'm just trying to make sure it's nice and clear here. There we go. Unless I'm just low on thermal paste here. Let me just check. Not feeling too good. Let me try to get something to clear this out real quick.
I got some MX4. Yeah, hopefully this is okay. I'm just clearing out the paste here because it's a little bit solid. I see why. So sometimes you gotta kind of clean it out because it's been a while. So I'm using a flathead right now to get all this dried up paste out the way. You know what? Let's open up another thermal paste because I do got some MX4 actually. Yep, this stuff is plenty good. This is good. Gotta throw that other stuff out. So instead, we're gonna swap it up. Gonna have to use MX4. Right here, this thermal compound right here. Yeah. So usually on the AMD Threadrippers, just like this, I do like an X pattern. Just like that. All right, perfect. Looks a bit thin on one of the crosses there, so I'm gonna go back and fix that one. Just don't go too crazy when you apply it. Just a little bit more. It doesn't need much because again, it's going to spread. Perfect, that should do it. And now we just gotta put the cap back on this one here. Hopefully this one doesn't dry out nearly as quick. Yes, I feel like it. There goes my fingers right there, trying to get that one all cleaned out. Ended up getting my fingers actually dirty. So we're going to reinstall this deep cooler right here. There we go. Worst thing you can do is not have it lined up. That's like the worst feeling right there. So we're gonna install that and put the screws back into place here. Now usually I prefer to do like a cross pattern just to make sure that it's sitting more flush. You don't want to kind of like this way, kind of like just like how you put the thermal paste on, you want to do an X when you put the plate back on, just because you don't want it to sit uneven. Again, thankfully we have magnetic tips. They are certainly a lifesaver here when it comes to these type of applications. Hopefully my film comes out just as good. There we go, that's on. Now you don't have to crank them down like crazy. You don't have to go crazy when you crank down these. Oh really? The 9-dot. There's all different ways for sure. I always prefer the P-dot method typically when it comes to like other processors, but for this, definitely the X. Honestly, it doesn't really matter like how you put it. In a way it does. I know in certain applications, but I'd say on Threadrippers, personally, I always feel the X is certainly better. Okay, so the annoying part is done. Nobody enjoys doing the thermal paste too much, but we want optimal temperatures here. Okay, now that's in. That easy. Now we can remove this RTX 3080 and start working on our cabling here. So all we have to do is pop this out here, which is, gonna have to move the camera once again. Let's see. Let's zoom out here. There we go. Beautiful. So we got it unplugged. So we got it unplugged already. All we have to do is just take out the GPU. Yeah, it's a little bit. That's why it's really hard to find like a decent cooler for when it comes to Threadrippers. I'm sure they got better ones now, for sure. Can't you just, no, not this time. I'm going to upgrade the PSU just in case if it's due to power. Because I don't want to have any problems right now. So this only requires 3. And this 3080 is about to be gone. It's pretty wild because they still, like looking back, like it just shows that horizontal GPUs were always popular because this still has the attachment for it, even on this model of the TF501, which is an older case. Oh, you know what's funny? We've been so spoiled with how the quick releases are. Now, I actually have to dig in there and actually release it by hand, hitting that switch. I think I got it down. Feels like it's down. Beautiful. That is out. There it is, guys. 3080 Ti is out now. But before we go ahead and install the new, GPU, we want to start installing the new PSU. I hope next year my biggest problem in life will be how to apply thermal paste on my Threadripper. Yeah, hopefully. That would be a nice problem to have. Let's see. We'll set that on the side here. And now we can start taking out all the cables and redoing them practically. Only thing we don't have to really remove as much is these, like this. Do you remember these plastic cases that they used to have? Now, this can be pulled out. I never screwed these down. I always disliked these. Some people can have them completely removed because they feel like it just takes up more space than anything. Actually, we could actually flip this up. So how about that? There we go. And we flip it so we get some lights. There we go. Get rid of all this thermal paste. Don't need that to go everywhere here. There we go. Change up the lighting a bit for you guys. Yes, compare the size with the Noctua. Yeah, you want to see the Noctua? Like how it would fit? It's like barely fits in there. Take a look. I am so lucky because it's like right there. Right there. Look how close that is. You see how much clearance I got? Barely. But I do have extra fans in there too. So if I really had to, I could remove these. But as you see, I have like the whole intake and exhaust set up right here. Make the cable first. Up next year to... Isn't that big? Like how big of a difference that is? But thankfully this like case was like way ahead of its time. Oh yeah, that's a good point. So I got to be really careful here on how I take this out. I'll definitely show it once we get a bit more room here. Let me just get this out of the way first. So just be really mindful. Oh yeah, take that off. Have a bit more flex. There we go. Isn't that funny how we used to hide our PSUs like this? Now the PSU is exposed. Look at that. At least it's really easy to access. I can't complain about that part. So we're going to end up taking out those cables anyway. So since we're doing that, we don't have to even cut it. We could just disconnect it. We're going to have to disconnect everything anyway here. So let's start here. Just give me a second, guys. Just gotta set up my camera once again. There we go. Nice. All right, perfect. So we got that camera set up just around the side. Yeah, like at the time now, right? Because now it's so easy to swap out, like if you really had to. Okay, so we're going to disconnect all these cables here, because we're not going to need these. There we go. Now this cable, if you're wondering what that is, that's just the LED strips that were on here. And Corsair was kind enough to give you plenty of room. It does, right? You're afraid it, I could see why you're afraid it could snap off, right? Like you just hit it the wrong way, or you even look at it wrong. That would be the end of it. But it does have a metal brace to it, just in case for situations such as that. So now we're going to flip around the case and completely, let's actually remove all the power cables out of this. Yeah, I know. It is pretty insane to think of it just like that. At one time, that was the one thing you were looking to install on there. But it's funny because that 3080 Ti originally came from like a retired, what was it, the 12900K. Then I swapped it out to the RTX 4090. Then ended up selling the 4090 PC. And now, of course, the 3080 Ti is bad. And now we're going to install the RTX 5080, the ASUS Noctua RTX 5080. So we're going to remove some of these power cables right here. And let me make sure I got the camera on for this. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Now I got it recording. So if you're wondering what type of motherboard this is the E-Gaming. This is actually a ASUS E-Gaming TUF TRX 40. CPU. It's so funny that the CPU plug's like up here instead of up here in the corner. They have two of them, but they separate them, ironically. I almost completely forgot about that, to be honest. And man, this one feels like it's stretching. There we go. Woo. That was tight in there. What else? What else are we missing here, guys? I think that's pretty much it, like when it comes to the ATX side. When it comes to the power supply, it's not really too much on this motherboard. Not like how it is with the power delivery. So we can also take out this PSU here. We're gonna flip it onto its side. Yeah, can you imagine that? That is definitely something I am hype about for. See how the experience of building a Threadripper is going to be. Man, you can see all of Jonah's hairs here. Kind of makes me a little bit, want to wipe it down a little bit here. Luckily got a microfiber cloth for this. So we're going to clean that. This extra hair that we don't need on the back. Of course, you don't want to cause any static, so you want to make sure to touch the case at the same time here. There you go. That's it. Just a simple wipe. Don't wipe the inside. I don't recommend doing that with the microfiber. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the project, Slim Shady. All right, so we can remove this PSU. Let me know when I hit 10K, guys. I'm just really curious. Am I still hanging on the 999 number? All right, so almost out. It's funny, there's this one extra screw, which definitely doesn't belong there. That definitely doesn't belong there. I think I was just trying to get it up and running, I remember. And so I just threw that on there. Can you make me build, can you give me a strong pre-built PC in the ranges of 500 to 7? Yeah, sure. Definitely could. Just make sure to join our Discord and I'll definitely share with you. So that's gone. Now we got this out of the way here. I mean, right now I'm just showing the camera. And to you guys, this is completely out. Pretty soon it's come to that point. Everyone's going to ask ChatGPT everything now. All right, so we're going to throw the Be Quiet one on here. Ooh. It's pretty funny. I kind of want to even remove these Corsair LEDs because it's like I don't really need them like that, but they are here. Okay, so oops, that's not the way. All right, so let's see. I was looking at it for a minute like, what the? That's not right. There we go. All right, beautiful. It lines up actually. There's plenty of places where I could actually screw this in at. Now the PSU box. So now we're going to install the screws for this. There we go. Beautiful. Oh yeah. I'll definitely share with you. It's
just join our Discord, and I will definitely share all the best ones for you. So we're going to install fresh ground screws to this PSU right now. Nice and fresh. 1200 watts of pure power. Now, one thing I don't recommend everyone to do is mix up your PSU cables. Make sure you don't mix two different brands because the specifications could be different here for the PSU. Price the performance rags. It's kind of like the Apple rags. Have you ever seen them? They have to be approved for the iPhone 17. All right, so that's in. That is installed. Now, for the fun part, we're going to get to the wiring side of it. We're going to flip this case here. There you go. The good thing is that it's really easy to work on this. There we go. Just a plain aluminum sheet. Look at how big that base plate is. You see how neat everything is? Fortunately, it's not going to be so neat anymore. Okay, so. Now, we're going to have to swap this out real quick. Let's sort this out. Time for the extra weight to come out. To make sure these cables don't get mixed up, I'm going to set them here onto the side. You know what's pretty funny? I got some thermal paste on my focus ring on my lens. So now I got some nice gray to clean off there. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I'm trying to tell everybody if you need a GPU, just do it. You're really going to kick yourself for not getting a GPU for anyone that does need it, because I'm telling you, it is going to be bad. You thought 1600 was bad for an Noctua RTX 5080? Just imagine this same time next year. It's going to be even worse. Set a cable. This has to go. This is going to be fun to decipher here. This, that's going to have to be plugged in. And do I have any more setup? Because I think I got at least a few hubs here. Okay, that's not plugged in. Good. And what else? Oh, no, it is plugged into something. There you go. That's how it goes. And let's see. So we got this power supply cable too. This is the ATX one. So instead, we'll do the opposite way. We'll make it a bit easier because we really don't need to complicate things. So we'll remove it this direction here. There we go. I think there was a rubber coating. Yeah, there was. It probably popped off. Yeah, it did. Isn't that annoying when the case does that? Like you're pushing something out and the rubber grommet just like pops in. Nah, I'd rather not deal with the trouble. So we're going to, let me step on the other side.
There we go. Make sure that's still plugged in.
Oh, that's annoying. That is annoying. Nothing but rubber grommet frustration here. It's funny because it's like the Velcro. It's like kind of gets in the way of it. Okay, I think we're there. Yep, there we go. Sometimes I wish the specs were just a bit tighter for when it comes to something like this, because then you don't have to fight with the rubber grommet to install it. There you go. Now we're good. That's annoying. You're just jealous I can run Cinebench with... Yes, I'm absolutely jealous. Only if I had the chance to. All right, so now we can actually start wiring it together. We're going to take the wire ties out of this, and we're going to go ahead and start pulling this apart. They just got this one massive wire tie on it, just like this, which is pretty insane. The kind of they don't even give you a pouch. This is, I gotta say, that's pretty crazy. I thought they would. And the cables are kind of like Corsair quality, so it's very easy to mix up if you don't put the Corsair ones on the side. I wish I could do this every day, but realistically, I probably do this more like maybe about 3 times a month, maybe more. It just depends on the volume. There we go. Now this is the RTX cable that we need. We're going to plug that in. Now what I like to do is double check here. Oh, we don't want that power supply. We'll set that here. So if you guys want to double check, you see how they got the thicker notches there. That's typically going to be like for your power supply side. Nope, not the thicker notches. Let me see. Nope. It looks like this is actually for your power supply side, from what it seems like. So we're going to flip this around. Ah, it feels so light now. So what you can do is always double check these if you want to make sure, because the worst thing you can do is like mix up the cables because you route it for nothing, and that can be a pain. So you want to see if it's the correct side. For example, we know for sure this is the motherboard side here. So you want to just plug it in to make sure. See how it's more thinner right there? And this is more thick. So this is obviously going to be for the towards the motherboard. That's very frustrating when that happens, when you gotta think of a way to recable. Recabling is definitely not the funnest activity here. It's definitely one of the things you don't look forward to PC building. Let's see. And the trick is you want to sit this notch up here on the top so it can sit in place. So you just got to squeeze them together here. I know some of you are cringing at that horizontal SSD right there because you got to make it work. There we go. That's in. Hold the back of the plate here. There we go. Nice and flush. That's how you want it. And with this cable, it's a shame because I didn't get to utilize this, the USB-C on this board, because this case is a bit older. I'd say, depends how hungry you are. Really depends, because if you're more of a sushi guy, that would be certainly one of my favorites to go. Ramen is also great too. Oh, this looks like this disconnected here, which is the ARGB. Not a big deal. We'll deal with that later. Looks like 2 ARGB. This is for the, I know exactly what this is for. Right up here. Sometimes things get loose, not loose, so just be careful. Deal with that right after. We'll worry about that later. And we're gonna throw this right here, kind of snake this through, and hopefully it doesn't push the grommet in. That's the thing. There we go, that's one side. Okay, so that's one end. Be careful with this one here. There we go. Okay, so far so good. Grommet didn't sink in, thank God. There we go. At least that's in. Woo! I don't blame you. DDR4 actually looks like a better stick than DDR5. I do agree to that. Now we can plug this in, because we don't want to. You gotta hate how some of these ARGB cables are, because they don't feel very good when you set them in. Oop. Feels like they're not really sitting in there like they should. I think it's just gotta, yes, we're not far away at all. We're almost there, guys. Let me see, make sure that yep, they're good. Let's go ahead and try to get this right here. Such a bad place they put it. Kind of tempts me to move it. There we go. I think it's on there, but it just doesn't sit very well. Cheap cable.
Try to get this lighting up so I can see better. Huh. It's been cloudy where you live? Let's see. Of course, it's funny. You would think the hardest part is doing like the thermal paste, but of course it's something like this always slows down the build. Something silly like this. There we go. Oh, no, it's not it. Just because of how they designed the 8 RGBs in these. Nope. Keep sliding right out. Did you get the Cryon? No, I didn't. I did not get the Cryon Extreme. Let's see, bring that down. Perfectly straight. You know what it is? I think it's going like, there you go. Now it's in. Man, that was a pain. Because it kept going into like the side of it. The side of the socket. So now it's in. All right, so he got Arctic. Yes. P and Y. Man. I'm so mad that I don't have a PNY RTX 5090 now. That would be a life-changing GPU. Let me tell you. You want to talk about a life-changing GPU? PNY. I reroute my cable management with my PC and all the RGB cables and some fans. Oh, that's a good thing. They're always the worst to deal with. My biggest concern is when it comes to how it's going to be with this case, because to see how originally these type of cases were designed, you didn't really get the best for your length when it came to something like this because of how far the PSU just sits down there. AI, they're okay. I mean, definitely not necessary. I feel that's overkill for sure. Like when it comes to it. Like when it comes to AIOs, yeah, you can get better temperatures, but most of the time it honestly doesn't matter as much. Remember, the thicker side goes to for Be Quiet, the thinner side will go to the PSU. So we'll leave that down there. We can go ahead and route this through the back. All right, so we have this CPU. Kind of weird how they designed it. You don't see this happen too often, to where you have them separated just like this. That's in. That's definitely for like the install the RTX into the highest trash. Yes. Let's see. Right here. All right, we got plenty of room, so we can start with this connection here. Again, the CPU. And the CPU looks like, let me get the camera down here. Well, we'll worry about that after. But let's make sure it connects first. So, looks like it would be either P8. One of these connections would do, and yes, we have it correct because it's gonna snap in. You can already tell. I'm sure there were others out there that were guilty of that. Of course, we're gonna install this in. Be very afraid. And we got another CPU here. Put that in. Again, thinner side on the bottom. Which one's thinner? How they look like? It's pretty funny. They look about the same length there. Can you please move that NVMe? It's unfortunately not. That is how it is designed. There's no ways about it, and that's just how it's going to be. So let your eyes bleed on it. All right, so we're going to put this in. Huh. I mean, for the gaming PC and the Big 25. Intel Celeron Chromebook for 2019. Okay, that goes right in. So it seems that this side, because this one can get a little bit weird. The good thing is that they're a little bit pin different. They look similar in length when it comes to the CPU here. So we're just going to go ahead and do it this way. Install that. Make sure this is correct here. Yep. All right, so we're gonna throw that in on the other side. Sink that in. There we go. Beautiful. So we got the CPU, we got the RTX, and pretty much all we need is the SATA port also installed. Does anybody still use these? Out of curiosity, the Molex ports? It's so funny to see them even now. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one, this weird looking one in, but that's actually for SATA, which we do have on this motherboard. So we're gonna actually put this out just like that. And all we need to do is route the RTX through the front. How did you get 40K for just... which one? On one of my long format videos? Just happened. A lot of people certainly do need assistance when it comes to Corsair installations. They could get quite complicated at times. So I'm going to route the RTX cable now. Let's make sure to route this correctly here. We're going to sink it right through the middle of the channel, which I'll turn it around in a little bit. Just want to get this RTX cable here so you guys can see me connect all these power supply cables.
There we go. It's funny how they used to design these cases. It's very simplistic, but it works. Appreciate it, Swirly. Where are we at? Do we still technically need 10 subscribers, it looks like? Okay, so all we have to do now is hook up these cables, really. And then we're gonna start organizing the cables. Fortunately, that sucks, the whole organization part. I don't think anybody enjoys that. Can you welcome me? I'm new here. Yes, Movie, welcome in. Appreciate you coming in. We're almost at the 10K mark. Hopefully we hit it today. It might happen. Just gonna change the angle slightly so you guys can see it. There we go. Welcome from Morocco. Yes, who doesn't love cable management? In fact, that's all I dream about after I build a PC is cable management. Thank you, Gabriel. I do appreciate it. By the way, Moroccan food is delicious. All right, so we're gonna plug these cables in. Yes, so excited. Strawberry shortcake. Man, I gotta say. That's right, Jenna Morph. That's the right mind and spirit right there. Okay, so we got these CPU cables and we have the ATX cable here. And it looks like one of our cables kind of slid away, which is this one. All right, so first we're going to connect these CPU cables since they're the furthest away. Would make the most sense, correct? CPU. I do like, it kind of does help the extra room here. Let me see, hard to see my anvil here. Oh, nope. Oh. Right here, there you go. Hook up this cable here. See, the good thing is, it's pretty much dummy proof, so don't stress about it. There we go. So we're gonna use it right there. And our favorite, the ATX cable, the thick ATX cable, which is gonna be up here. This thing is like a monster. Ah, man, that's tough to put in. Why would they design it like that? This looks like you gotta reach it all the way over here for some weird reason. There you go. Man, that is freaking tight. Talk about length there. Man, that thing is stressing. All right, so all we got to do now is really route the cables in the back correctly, make sure that they're all nice and tight. Project Weave. We did see a couple GPUs for Project Weave out there, don't we, guys? Oh, not kidding. Should have been there, Simply Cube, at Micro Center. We saw Asus's motherboard, and we saw MSI's edition. And now all I gotta do is flip around this PC and do a little bit of organizing. All right, there we go. Doesn't that look scary? Everybody's worst nightmare here when it comes to organizing. But let's try to manage this quickly so we can go ahead and start installing the GPU. So we got the CPU cables right here. All right. Fan, we don't need that to disconnect. Fan is now completely in. Worry about that later. GPU's in, okay. So we want to try to route this nice as we can here. But before we do that, we actually have to plug a couple things in, which are the Corsair hubs right here. Flip this around. That's it. That's one connection. See, this is what can make builds complicated, all the extra fan connections here. Which we are going to end up tie wrapping. See, the nice thing is you can just follow the L shape. Two, and I know there's one more. We got one hub and we have another one right here. There it is. That ended up hooking to the wrong place here. And right there, guys. My web-based holiday countdown project, really. Ryzen Master auto crashes, says reinstall even though I just did. It's probably Windows, to be honest. Windows has been given a lot of issues lately. So now we're gonna grab this, we're gonna pack this in. Grab just like this. And yeah, that's probably the best way to do it here. Try to keep everything low and flat as you can. Make sure all your connections are still intact. Oh no. Whew, I thought I was gonna disconnect there for a minute. There we go. That's one. So luckily, we don't have to deal with that really. What I am concerned about is shutting the case here. Looks a bit bulky on the bottom. So let's try to thin this out some. Man, everything's just like popping out now. You know what? I have an idea. It's just gonna have to lift up higher, that's all. There we go. That's a bit better. See, that makes it a bit thinner. And we go from here.
That's in. Perfect. And last step. Not too bad. I feel like I gotta this is kind of loose, which I don't like. But that's not a problem. In fact, we'll get something to wrap around that. We'll wrap around these. Make sure that these are secure. See, personally, I don't like using wire straps too much. But you gotta make sure that nothing gets disconnected here too. There you go. That should be good. And we cut this. Yeah, we should be good on this side. So that's all the cables installed with the power supply. And now we're gonna go ahead and install the GPU here. Which reminds me, I'll leave that right there. You broke your accent. Okay, so here we are. So we're going to tuck this away here. Actually, I'll just pull the cable from the inside. Pull this out some. Right there. That's how I'll do it. Perfect. That'll be good enough. If you're wondering what that cable is right here, this is for thermal sensing. So this just senses the temperature. So this is nothing too crazy. Looks like we have all our connections in and secure as needed. Perfect. And all we got to do now is install the GPU. Bring this up. All right, perfect. Oh, it's a lot bigger. It's an excellent case though, I gotta say. Definitely love it. Now, I'm curious to see how much slots this GPU will end up taking up. Because it's going to take up a few. I mean, it's massive when you see this case. I mean, this GPU. Actually, it doesn't really take up as much as I thought. Take off this. And we got to take off the peel, right? Actually, let's do that. Let's measure up these
GPUs before I throw this in here. So just to give you guys an idea, just how big this GPU is before I install it here. Woo, looks like quite the mess. Now, just to give you an idea, let's clear all this mess up first. Now this is the Noctua 5080 GPU, PSUs, and Noctua. This is the new power cord, so we're going to need this. It's massive, isn't it? Excuse me, guys, just got to clear out the table just a bit more before I can really show you. Let's see. Right there.
You done? You wanna come in?
Oh, okay.
You stay outside.
You can come in.
No, I'm in.
Okay.
No, forget it.
Huh? All right. Okay, so again, just clearing up this mess. Still need a screwdriver. Get this microfiber cloth out the way. All right, guys, here it is. Okay, so this is how it looks here between the two. The 3080 Ti. And take a look at the difference between the two. You see the size difference? Quite crazy, right? And just the height right there. And I'll sandwich it so you guys can see it. Big difference. I got it from Micro Center. Luckily, they had it in stock. Also, pull this up onto camera here for anybody that is curious about the size. All right, perfect. Now let's go ahead and install it. Hopefully it comes out nice. There we go. All right, perfect. I'm upgrading in December from a RTX 3050 to a RTX 5060 Ti at 16 gigabytes. Awesome. Ironically, this isn't going to really run games as much. This is going to be more for a productivity build and streaming. Yeah, that would be... Yeah, could you imagine that? They'll come out with something new, call it something different. All right, so we're going to install this cord. First, we got to take all this wonderful saran wrap, or this wrap around it. Let's see. Where does it start? Hopefully you guys can see it once I peel it off here. Alright, so there we go. It really stuck it on there pretty good. Everything is wrapped on here. I mean, everything. I'll show you guys. Just like this. Talk about overwrapping. Let me go from this end. If these sections were just not enough, all right, that's that. I'm sure you guys heard that. That's that. That's that. The back of the board. That one was a lot easier. And let's see what else. We got this. Now, why would they do it like that? There we go. That's off. Even these little pieces of the frame. I think we're good now. Just one more. All right. Nope, I still see one. Nope, I think that's just clear coat. Like that clear coat film that they put on that one. Way too much. All right. I think that's finally it. That was a lot, right? All right. So we're going to post it right there, guys. And now we can go ahead and try to install it. Apologize if I'm not answering the questions right away, since right now I actually am working on the installation, so I can't see the screen. Oh, I just realized something. I was like, wait a minute. Take that off. Sat right in. No problem. Man, look at the spacing. That's how much space it takes up.
That's how much space it takes up. Got to make sure it's installed in, and it is lined up. There we go. Let's screw it in now. Now I'm gonna turn around and see the screen now, but man, that is like right up against there, right guys? There you go. That's how it's looking. It's like right up against there. Barely just makes it. It is a massive GPU, but luckily in this case it does make it. Barely though, barely. But that's just enough room. Yeah, tell me about it. It makes it makes this case look like an SFF build, I gotta say. Which is hilarious. It makes it look like an SFF build. Yeah, and isn't it 1200? No, you know what? This isn't a standard. For a standard CPU and single, yes. But this is a Threadripper build, so this is a little bit different. The CPU and the GPU are both going to be demanding on this, I gotta say. So we're gonna go ahead and finish the rest of this install here. All we have to do is install the screws for this GPU here. It's going to be quite exciting to see how this turns out. A lot of work. Yes, this is the 3970 build right now. All right. But it is much needed because we need to have decent stream, guys. We don't want any problems with performance. There we go. That's in. And just got one last screw to put in. And then finally, the mighty 12-volt high power port will go in. Oh yeah, I think so. I think she would do great. All right, let's tighten that up. Now it is secure. We are looking solid, guys. And all we got to do is hook up the 12-volt power port, 12-volt high power port, with the plastic casing. Now it's kind of funny how they do these now. Is this kind of casing definitely feels way out of date. Let's see. Woo. All right, so we're gonna go to this angle here so you guys can see it better. Kind of dark. Okay, I see the 12-volt high power ports. So now there isn't any specifics when it comes to this, guys, just to let you know. When it comes to these 12-volt high power ports. And let me just switch up the camera real quick. Now there's nothing too crazy when you install these 12-volt high power ports. Just make sure it's completely installed. Feel free to ask, Dirt? What's up, Dirt? All right, so right here, you don't want to guess, you want to make sure it's completely in. fact, I'd rather pull this out first, just to make sure, so everyone can see out there. Hopefully you guys can see that. I know it's not the best lighting for this. Let me actually flip it around some. There you go. That's probably a bit better now. There we go. All right, so can we get this 200? Yes, for sure. That's a great idea. So what you want to do, you want to make sure it's completely plugged in here. Let me just try to get the camera to work with me here at the same time. There we go. I have to step in the front of it, so I'm gonna miss out on the comments here. But all right, actually, we'll just move this out of the way. A little bit complicated, unfortunately, angle issues. But most importantly, I want you guys to see it live. So let's try this again. So again, you want to plug it down here. Make sure it's all the way in. Yeah, I know it's hard for you guys to see. This kind of sucks. Hopefully you guys can see it there. Just line it up and push all the way in. And make sure it clicks. You're gonna hear it click. And then that's when we'll put this back on now. This we don't have to worry about as much. It should go right in. Same thing with this. Click. There you go. Has to click. I know some of the 12 volt high power ports, I know some people complain that it doesn't click, but I can assure you it does click. Now, what about the 16 gen rent? I know. Are these rhetorical questions? It sounds like it, right? Yeah, feel free, if you guys have any questions, feel free to join Discord. I do answer the chat. We're almost there, guys. Yeah, we're almost there, guys. I gotta clean that filter out. You see it? Right before we get started here. So we're just putting this plastic power supply cable here. What's up, Tommy? Let me just get another angle. I know these angles are probably pretty wild here. There we go. No, looks like a 5090, right? This is actually a 5080. 5080, believe it or not. Just a massive one. There we go. That's in. Beautiful. Now, we gotta plug this in. Now, I know a lot of people are worried about plugging in these 12 volt high power ports here. And we can't forget to make sure to put the stand in there. Oh yeah. Okay, Xenomorph, that's funny. Question, have we hit 10,000 subscribers yet? I know we're pretty close. I know we're all excited for that. Hopefully you guys are just as excited as we all are. Okay, here we go. And we're gonna hook up the 12 volt high power port here. Just make sure it's very simple. Just make sure to completely let it click. That's it. In. Make sure it's in. That's it. So now that's in, nice and stiff. I want to see even the GPU move. That's how tight I make sure that's in. Suze, do you have to put the plastic cover on the thing on the, yes. Otherwise it's gonna look terrible. It'll look ugly if it's not on there. That's the main reason. But we're going to have to move this cable. We're gonna adjust it. We're going to stand it up for sure. ASUS versus MSI? Great question. That is a great question. Actually, that's all in preference, to be honest. Gonna have to go in the back end here. You see, you want to make sure it's tucked in pretty decent, so I'm going to pull this cable a bit. There we go. How's that? That should be pretty, it should be pretty good. We got plenty of clearance because the glass sits like a lot further away from it. It is huge, right? It's a BBG, that's what it is. BBGC. Big brown graphics card. Let's see, we're going to put a tie strap right here. There we go. Now we're good. That's it. Now it's ready to go. Just let me get this. I gotta record this real quick, guys. And then we're gonna get this started soon. But yeah, so far we're good. Paranoid, so I always double check here. But doesn't that look good? Looks pretty decent, right? So we got the new power supply in. I mean, look at again, this is the old GPU right there. Right there. So much more smaller. And it feels so light compared to it. There it is. Man, you know what? I am so tempted for that PNY. I am so tempted for it. That's actually a RTX 3080 Ti. And that's the ASUS ROG Strix. Let me get this on video. Man, it looks sick. Even though some people might not have the color, it actually looks really sick. Definitely am feeling the color. Don't mind me, guys, just filming what we have here. Bringing back this Threadripper back to life here. Let's hope it behaves so much better. Can you imagine doing all that and it turns out to be the motherboard? Beautiful. Now we could go ahead and close this up here. Let me get the glass. You know what? I should show my wife how it looks. Oh, you know what? Before we do so, we actually got to put the support in. We definitely got to put the support in. We can't put this... We can't have this 5080 just flopping around there. All right, so let's go ahead and let me get that support. Oh, there it is. For a minute, I thought they didn't give it to me. So, when it did PCI? No, this is actually PCI Express 3.4.0. This just has a massive amount of PCI Express 4.0 slots. Up to, I think it's up to 74 lanes that you can use up. Now, it does have this nice little weight to it. I guess it's a, is it a magnet? I guess you, oh, okay. So it comes like this. Pretty interesting looking. I guess it comes out kind of like a, yeah, kind of like this. All right, so what you got to do, we're going to put it right under here. We're going to lift it up some. And it looks like we could actually measure it out. So let me see what the measurement is here. So if we're going to put this in, it looks like, put it right here. Okay. Absolutely. There you go. You see? Nothing too crazy. There you go. That plastic cap got to go back on here. Oh, it's this way. There you go. That's it. It's weird it's on this plastic cover though. If this wasn't here, then it would be a little bit tougher to support, I would feel. But that's it. Have the same, oh, do you? The same exact stand? That's funny. Let's see. Perfect. I think it's better on the corner here though. So we're gonna, let me drop it down some. I think it would be better right here. Yeah, just because it's more surface area. So I'm just going to bring it up slightly. And let's go ahead. Throw that under there. Perfect. How's that? Looks sick, right? All right, so we're going to go ahead and try to start this up soon. We're going to put on the back panel first. That's in. Went in nice and easy. Now next, I do want to get this
filter cleaned out here. Just a little bit of hair that's on there. Use some of this stuff actually, some of that tape that they had would actually do. Because it's mostly that hair under there. So when we want to make sure that the power supply is nice and clean. And I could run a test on it to see how it's going to run. Let's see, throw that filter back in. I still can't get over the fact that VRMs don't have fans. Yeah, it's practically just like a cooler that kind of cools it off. So I'll switch over to this side. We're gonna put the glass panel back on it. So it's gonna be a bit tinted, guys. Oh. Let's see, push it right there. Oh. I know what it is. I still got that Corsair LED in the way. Oh no. Yep. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. There we go. Yes. Yeah, it's from ASUS. This is the TRX 40 e-gaming motherboard. So we're going to flip this around. I gotta kind of move my light, guys. Let me switch over here real quick. Just gonna switch over to the front facing camera. All right, so there we go. Just gotta move the lights here. The studio lights. And let's hope for a successful boot here. Just gotta find that cable. This office is just a mess here. Alright. Now I got room to put the PC back on the ground. Got this huge studio light in here. And let's move that out the way too. Turn that off. See, that's what I like. Got these carrying handles. Let me turn this light around here so you guys can see again. You know what's funny, guys? Of course, I can't find my power cable. But let me hook up these connections first here. Of course, I don't got the power cable. Yeah, it's a huge graphics card. There we go. So we're going to connect it back in the PC room. At least I can untangle this mess that I had here. I'm glad that's done and over with. Curious to see how it's going to be. All right. There's that. There we go. And
this up. Pretty soon we'll be up and running in no time. Untangling. Yeah, it's one. I gotta tell you, it's definitely an activity. Like when you don't realize it till like you go back here, and it's all thanks to hooking up all those extra cables and everything that you realize. Yeah, pretty much. All right, so I'm gonna take up this. And this. All right, perfect. Now, we're just gonna find that power cable. Let's see, where did I put it? Pretty wild too, because I remember grabbing it and putting it on the side. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is, right on the desk. Maybe your Gigabyte S. Yeah. After seeing that fitment, right? We're lucky it got in, because then we would have to end up swapping out GPUs. So we got this. Nice big cable. All right. Okay, that's in. Now we're just, all we gotta do is plug it in, really. There we go. Cable's a bit shorter than I thought, but we're good though. We're still good. All right. Let's go ahead and pull this back some. And I'll show you how it looks. You can finally start it up here. Whew. That was a workout. Definitely will do. But once we hit the whole 10K subscriber mark, right now it looks crazy. I'll tell you that. So we're going to switch cameras here, and we're going to see how it looks here. There's Jonah. He's wearing his cone. And beautiful. Starting up your PC too? Awesome. Let me know if the camera's clear or not. Well, actually, we got to turn on the power supply. Let there be light, and there is. What I'm curious about is maybe the BIOS had reset here, but we'll see. We'll see if it actually ended up resetting. Yes! What number are we at, guys? I still don't know.
Here we go. Let there be light. Yeah, I feel like the BIOS is gonna reset because we got new GPU. We got new, I have a decent feeling. Let's find out. It's gonna be right here. Thank you, Victoria. Probably because of the short side here. It looks like I swapped out the HDMI cables, but that's okay. Absolutely. That's what I got knocked to his card there for. Counter-Strike. Oh, we do got it started here. Good. Looking good. Looking like we're solid. Now, we just got to extend our displays. Let me just set it here. Nice and quiet, though, I gotta say. The PC can't project. Oh, gotta reinstall the GPU, of course. Okay, so we're gonna go to NVIDIA here. All right. It's probably reinstalling the GPU. There we go. Has to recognize it. Look at my desk. It's a mess. I got cookies. I got water. I got my... There goes the stream camera right there, where I usually stream them. Oh, absolutely. If you're a competitive gamer, this is definitely worth it. Let's see. There we go. Let's check out the NVIDIA graphics, make sure that there isn't a new update for it. We're going to go to drivers here. Right now I got studio drivers installed. So I'm just checking, making sure. It's funny. I know one test to make sure to see if it's working, which is Adobe Media Encoder. And this will certainly give us indication if the fix here. So usually it would freeze if I'm doing some encoding here. Takuma's hilarious. He's just straight up. He said, no. Might get myself a Threadripper build too, just saw 79. Yeah, honestly, it's, oh, I know it's insane. Believe me, people vent to me all the time about how we take things for granted. I mean, I get it, but certainly different ways of living for sure. You know what? You know what would test this really well? This Noctua card. It has to be, I get this, it has to be Minecraft. Fortnite, there you go. Fortnite's the good test for this. Let's take a look at this card. It might be hard to see. You can see it through the top. I know the colors are kind of funky right now because I have my RGBs off. Looks like the RGBs kind of froze up, so I got to reset them. But man, it is. I'll tell you what though, it is really quiet though. I'm still laughing at this. Look at this gap. It looks like it's connected to the fans. All right, so far it's not even you should have heard my other piece. You should have heard it before. Like when I was encoding, it would stress. It would really stress. It's more absolutely. Yeah, truly a budget PC. Thank you, Mr. Mo. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream. But this will absolutely test it. Most of the, like when I do this test right here, it'll shut off. I'll actually freeze up like right around, like when it even gets towards the end. I'll stop encoding, I'll actually freeze. And this one, you guys are probably familiar with this video. This was one of the videos that I recently produced. Yes, it's a 5080. But man, it is not stressing now. Because before you would hear it kick on, like you could really hear the fans kick on. But now it's like eating through this like it's nothing. Look at that. So more than likely, it seems like this has resolved the issue. Now, before it would flicker. Oh, I appreciate everybody that joined in. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe. Oh, really? Not looking forward to that. I was hoping that a lot of those problems would be resolved here. It's funny because the media is offline, it says, which it probably is. I probably deleted those files. But the cursor is still moving, which is an excellent sign. It seems that the problem has been fixed for the most part. So I'm saving for the PC with the 9950X 3D and the RTX. That's an excellent build to go for, Victoria. Got 19 seconds left. Let's see if it freezes or not. But I think we're pretty much good here. I think we are solid. The problem is finally rectified. 4080 had less issues. You know what? I do miss my RTX 5090. I'm not going to lie. So now it's going to run a test up here. Let's see. No freezing. Good. Good. So I had 0 issues with my 5080. So far, no. I don't really have to do a hot fix on this either because, again, this isn't for the gaming build. The gaming build's actually sitting right there. This actually has the 5090 in it. So, you know, try the Ascent Black Bar, the top Inhave PNY 5080. Definitely no issues here. See, I'll show you Event Viewer. Yeah, definitely fixed the problem. Let's see, system. I knew that GPU was going. I just knew it. So before I had an issue, it says TPM. So the biggest issue now I have is the TPM issue. So I'll take a look at that later, probably reset it. Warning. So far, so those are all TPM issues, I bet. So I'll take a look at that. But as long as if I don't get those serious errors, critical. This system has rebooted, cleaning, shutting down. Okay, and that was on the unexpected shutdowns from earlier. Right here, firmware version. But yeah, I think we're all good here. So FamBam, guys, I appreciate you joining in on this build. Had a lot of fun with you and everybody here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow wherever you are following from. Make sure to check out the latest deals for Amazon's Black Friday. I do have them posted on all the page. And make sure to also join in on our Discord. It is down in the description box down below. There you go. Go for it. You could do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, feel free to join in on Discord, follow, like, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Now, time to mess around and really push this test further and check out the TPM. Thanks so much, Ernesto. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Thanks, Takuma. Thanks, Wasabi. Thank you, LSG. Thank you, Genomorphing. Thank you, all these supporters. Yes. Yeah, we've been... Thanks so much.